Have you ever had one of those mornings where everything starts off perfectly until one tiny thing ruins your entire day? Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic. Maybe your coffee spills. Maybe it's just a single rude comment from a stranger online. And suddenly, that motivation you felt when you first woke up, gone, just like that. The truth is, it wasn't that comment or that spill or that slow Wi-Fi that ruined your day. It was something deeper, something happening inside you. In this video, we're not just going to talk about motivation. We're going to talk about power. The power to control your mood, your energy, and your day. No matter what the world throws at you. We're going to talk about Stoicism and how, when applied, it can make you completely unshakable. Let's start here. Why do the smallest things affect us so much? It's not just the event itself. It's our expectation of how things should go. You expect people to be polite. You expect your internet to work. You expect your plans to flow smoothly, uninterrupted, and when reality doesn't match that mental picture, even slightly, your brain reads it like an attack. Suddenly, you feel frustrated, insulted, disrespected, even though, in truth, the world hasn't done anything that serious to you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, and the Emperor of Rome, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the core of Stoicism. The external world isn't what disturbs us. Our perception of it does. The moment you shift your perspective, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting to life, and you start responding to it with clarity and calm. Next time something trivial upsets you, pause and ask yourself, did this thing really harm me? Or is it just my reaction that's causing all this distress? And almost every time, the answer will be clear. It's your reaction, not the event. Now, let's talk about one of the most misunderstood but powerful Stoic principles: indifference. We're not talking about apathy. This isn't about being emotionless or cold. This is about learning to separate what truly matters from what doesn't. Epictetus, another great Stoic teacher, said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." And that single line? It's a game changer. Imagine for a moment that you're walking through a busy market. People bump into you. Noise is everywhere. Some smells are pleasant, some are not. But you keep walking, focused on your destination. You don't let every bump, every distraction, every noise pull you off course. That's Stoic indifference. It means refusing to give your energy to things beyond your control. Because when you do, you're handing your peace over to things that don't deserve it. Here's a simple but powerful question to ask yourself. Will this matter in a day, a week, a year? 99% of the time, the answer is no. So why burn your mental fuel on it? Think of your mind as a river. These annoyances, slow drivers, short tempers, tech glitches, are like tiny pebbles tossed into the water. Yes, they cause ripples. But what happens to those ripples? They fade, and the river keeps flowing. You are that river. The more you recognize these moments as temporary, the less control they have over you. And with practice, you begin to see things for what they are, not what your emotions tell you they are. This brings us to one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic toolbox: the pause. When you feel triggered, when your emotions rise, pause, just for a moment. You don't need to react right away. In fact, you shouldn't. That microsecond where you notice your anger, your irritation, your stress rising, that's where you reclaim your power. The Stoics believed in mastery of the mind, and mastery starts with awareness. Someone insults you, pause. Your flight is delayed, pause. You spill your drink on your shirt right before an important meeting. Pause. That pause doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you acknowledge them without becoming them. You can feel frustration without becoming a frustrated person. You can experience anger without acting out of anger. That's the difference between a reactive life and a Stoic one. It's in that pause that you decide, I don't serve my emotions, they serve me. And over time, this simple habit rewires your brain. You become more grounded, more composed, more respected, not just by others, but by yourself. Because nothing feels better than realizing you have control when you used to lose it. So let's bring it all together. If you've ever felt like the world is constantly testing your patience, good news. It is, and that's exactly the point. Life will never stop throwing pebbles in your path. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. Stoicism doesn't promise a life without stress, annoyance, or challenge. It promises something better, a mind that can rise above it. When you shift your expectations, when you master your reactions, when you pause instead of explode, you don't just survive the day, you own it. This isn't theory, it's practice, daily, deliberate, life-changing. So next time your day starts going sideways, remember, it's not the event, it's your reaction, and you have the power to choose a better one. So we've learned the importance of the Stoic pause, that moment of awareness between impulse and reaction. But how do we take it further? How do we actually master our reactions, not just delay them? Let's dive deeper. Seneca, one of the wisest voices in Stoic philosophy, once said that emotions are like fires. They begin small, just a flicker, but, left unchecked, they can burn out of control, destroying relationships, mental clarity, and even your health. But here's the power you do have. Catch the flame early, and it never becomes a wildfire. Let's say irritation starts rising. You feel it in your chest, in the tightening of your jaw, in the quickening of your breath. That's the moment. Not 5 minutes later. Not after you've snapped. Right there. Practice what the Stoics called the pause. Not just silence. Not suppression, but intentional stillness. Take a breath. Step back, mentally, even if the world around you keeps moving. Observe what's happening in your body. Notice the emotion, but don't let it grab the wheel. You are not your anger. You are not your frustration. You are simply experiencing those things, and experience by nature is temporary. Remind yourself in that space. This isn't who I am. It's just a passing storm. Let it pass. With just a few calm, conscious breaths, you create distance, a gap between what triggered you and how you choose to respond. That space is where your power lives. That space is where emotional chaos meets inner leadership. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Like muscle memory, your mind begins to wait before reacting. You observe instead of obeying your emotions. You respond rather than explode. And with time, your resilience doesn't just show up in small annoyances. It expands. You find yourself handling bigger challenges, delays, conflict, even crisis, with a level head and a calm heart. Now let's talk about a Stoic superpower, reframing. This is the art of turning problems into nothing, not through denial, but through perspective. The Stoics were masters at this. They didn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They asked, "How can I grow through this?" When something inconveniences you, traffic, a rude person, a broken plan, here's what you do. Instead of, "This ruined my day," say, "This is a chance to practice patience." Instead of, "This person is so annoying," say, "This is a test of my composure." Instead of, "Why me?" say, "I control my response, always." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." Simple words, massive shift in power. You remove the label of problem, and suddenly there is no problem. You've turned adversity into training. You've flipped irritation into opportunity. It's not delusion, it's discipline. Because let's be real, life will always give you things to complain about. But a Stoic doesn't complain. A Stoic converts. Understanding Stoicism is one thing. Living it, that takes practice. Here are some simple yet powerful exercises to help build your Stoic mind. Each morning, take 2 minutes. Imagine things not going your way today. A delay, a rude interaction, a setback. Visualize it. Feel the sting now, so when it comes later, it doesn't catch you off guard. This technique, used by the Stoics daily, helps rob frustration of its surprise factor and its power. Close your eyes and picture yourself from above. Now zoom out. Your room, your building, your city, your country, the planet. From that vast perspective, how big does your current frustration look? Exactly. Tiny, almost invisible. This perspective practice reminds you how small most problems really are. You reconnect with a sense of proportion and with peace. Write down what's bothering you. Now divide it into 2 lists. Things you can control, things you can't. The Stoics focused only on what was within their power. Let go of the rest, not with anger or defeat, but with clarity and freedom. At the end of your day, grab a notebook. Write down, what annoyed me today? How did I react? What could I have done differently? This practice builds self-awareness and exposes emotional patterns. Over time, you'll start noticing those moments as they happen, and you'll begin to choose a better path. Let's be honest. The world is messy. People are unpredictable. Life rarely goes according to plan. But your peace of mind, that's yours. That's sacred. And it's entirely within your control. The Stoics didn't teach us to become emotionless robots. They taught us to become masters of our own minds, to stop being the slaves of trivial frustrations. Here's what you can do. Practice indifference toward what doesn't truly matter. Pause before reacting. Reframe problems into opportunities. Train your mind like a muscle. And most importantly, don't let anything small steal your peace. Next time something threatens to derail your day, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, and it usually is, then let it go. Breathe, regain control, walk away calm and undefeated. If this video gave you a moment of clarity, give it a like, not just for the algorithm, but to mark a choice. You're choosing growth over reaction. Subscribe for more content that builds you from the inside out. And in the comments, let's talk. What's one small thing that used to ruin your day, but no longer does? This isn't just a channel, it's a movement of thinkers, builders, warriors, quietly mastering their minds in a noisy world. Thanks for being part of it. Now go live with calm, live with control, and remember, no moment is stronger than your mindset.